Welcome to the 51st episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I'm Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
And we also have our Chief of Staff, Brian McCain, with us today. I forgot to introduce you last week, Brian.
It's okay. Hello, I'm here.
And then I feel like then we just had the voice behind the mic. No balloons this week. Sorry, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, what happened to them?
We had to take the decorations down because we're
151.
51. Although Brian did say, like, maybe we should just have balloons for every episode.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun. Yeah. I do want to remind the listener you can find this podcast on Buzzsprout, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch on local channel 17. And if you have questions or topic suggestions, you can reach out to us, mayor@pueblo.us. Okay, so Mayor, we had City Council meeting last night. A few much anticipated resolutions and ordinances. One in particular is we officially will have roofs for wastewater. Mm-hmm. So that was approved. We had a couple questions last night about that, but that includes 5 buildings. So I know our Director of Wastewater, Andrew Ahrens, was very happy about that. Another thing that was interesting last night was Council voted down the IGA, or the Intergovernmental Agreement for CSAC. Mm-hmm. We have normally seen that come forward all together. So the IGA and the approvals for each of the proposals that CSAC recommends for the nonprofits. But this time it was separate. So what does that look like moving forward? That one a little bit threw me for a loop.
Yeah, so they voted to not enter into the IGA with the county. So what the IGA does is it solidifies the county and the city's funding amount. So the city's was $550, the county's was $435. And then it also really gives the framework on what nonprofits are funded,
sure,
how they're funded, how the reporting is, whether the city or the county will run that. So the previous week we saw the recommendations for 2026.
Right.
Mind you, it is soon to be April, so 4 months into the year, and these nonprofits probably should have already been funded.
Sure.
But we've been waiting for the county. So it was surprising to see that City Council voted down the agreement that allows the nonprofits to get funded. So I'm not sure if it's going to be in City Council's purview to then review all 52, I think, applications that were
there were a lot
submitted, and then make a decision on who they want to fund. I'm not sure if they will still fund the nonprofits for 2026. I didn't get
any indication.
I didn't get any indication on where that was going, other than they said that they wanted to turn it back. But I mean, they essentially are dissolving the relationship with CSAC. So I'm not sure who you're going to turn it back to. Okay. So I'll wait to hear what City Council plans to do. Sure. There will be a work session on Monday about the recommendations, and so maybe we can get more direction then.
And we had the initial recommendations with Gina Lopez Ferguson. She's the chair of CSAC. And then I know Melissa Cook kind of went over the priorities, but Monday we'll have a more in-depth conversation of what that encompasses. Okay, great. Additionally, City Council approved the transfer of the quitclaim deed for the Goodnight Barn. And it's my understanding that this was essentially mutually beneficial for the city. It kind of...
They didn't approve it.
Oh, I'm sorry, they did not approve it. Did I say that I approved it? I did. Okay, sorry. That they did not approve it. But it was my understanding that this was going to be a mutually beneficial opportunity for the city.
They just postponed it, so they want a reverter clause added. into it, so that if the Goodnight Barn nonprofit ever dissolves, that the property comes back to the city. So
got it. Okay.
It's well on its way
Sure.
to being approved, but they wanted that
So
contingency added in there.
And they moved that to April. And that kind of ensures that moving forward, when the nonprofit, the Goodnight Barn nonprofit that's been established, when they're applying for grants, if for whatever reason in the future there was an issue, that property doesn't just...
go by the wayside.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's going to be beneficial to the nonprofit to be able to apply for...
It gives them more flexibility.
Grant dollars, have events there. The city's... it's hard when the city owns a property for then the entity who's running the business or the barn to receive additional state or federal dollars, because it is property of the government already.
Sure. And I know they've had a lot of opportunities in the past, like their truck wagon rendezvous. They do a lot of school tours and things like that. So
they want to do weddings and
making it more of like a destination venue. And an event space. So I think that's exciting for everyone moving forward.
The conversations last night were, well, this has been funded by taxpayer dollars.
Sure.
But really, it's been funded by it was remodeled with a grant,
right?
And so the taxpayer money that funds it is the utilities, which is about $1,500 a year that we pay. It's very minimal,
sure.
And then large maintenance items we do, as Mr. Hayes said, but the smaller items, the folks that are running it, they take care of the day-to-day stuff there.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I can't believe I messed that one up. But I realized I wrote it down wrong in my question. So thank you for helping. Also, the final ordinance that was approved last night was the Page Union agreement. Yeah. That essentially gave a COLA, a cost of living increase of 1.75%, but they essentially agreed to take a zero moving forward in 2027. Is that correct?
Yeah. So they get the CPI, which is 1.75 this year. But we met with all of the unions. They understand the city's problems for 2027, and they want to be a good partner.
Sure.
So they graciously agreed to take the zero. So hopefully we can get the other two unions on board to do the same.
Okay. And what does the timeline look like for the other unions?
Police is going to be coming soon.
Okay.
And then fire, you'll see in June. So
got it.
This is fire's year to negotiate. Police, this is their second year of their contract. So it's a little bit different for each of them.
And are those 2 or 3 year?
They're 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Also, Mayor, we got a question. Well, I guess I should ask, is there anything else you want to add for the city council meeting last night before we go into some questions?
Just said it was, they pulled a lot of stuff off
of
the consent and off of first presentation. You know, one of the items that was pulled is the Petco settlement. And so this has been something that's been in the works for the last several months, and Councilor Gomez had some questions for me about, you know, are you really going to take their building after 40 years? And the answer is that's part of the settlement that they have agreed to in lieu of litigation. So the city was going to sue Petco for what I would call misappropriation of funds, not having funds tied directly back to primary jobs, in which we have been funding them $350,000 a year.
Okay.
They have refused to share their financials with the city, and their reporting with the city. We requested these documents 11 times last year, and were not successful in receiving them. And so after digging a little bit deeper, there is a reverter clause, since we're talking about reverter clauses.
Okay.
On the building that they have, the city gave Petco that building many years ago with a reverter clause in there about having to pay 25% of their revenues generated. So it's kind of a long story, but the reason that it's on the agenda is because they have agreed to a settlement with the city in lieu of litigation.
Sure. And you mentioned one thing in particular that Councilor Gomez brought up as well is whether this piece of property would be revenue generating for the city. So you just mentioned 25% of the lease agreement. So we have folks that are tenants in that building with Petco right now. So when the city takes over, we would take over those leases.
Yep. Okay. So there's multiple businesses. I don't have the list.
Sure.
That hasn't been shared with us at this point, or how much each individual office pays, but I do have their overall financials, and I can tell you that the revenues that they generate from their rent can pay for the property, their expenses, and there's additional expenses in there that the city would not have to pay.
Okay.
And so I look forward to seeing who's in the building, what they're doing in the building. The BTC is a business technology center.
Right.
Hopefully we can get some businesses to come in there and maybe
utilize the space.
Yeah, maybe it's an incubator for new businesses that want to come to the community.
Sure. Like
you see in other communities, business incubators. So you'll see that on second reading, the end of the month. And we'll go from there.
Okay. So that'll be second reading March 23rd.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Mayor, we had a question about what does CAB stand for? So a lot of folks still refer to the building as the old PBR building. And we know that we'll hear that for a while because it takes some time for folks to get on board with a new name. But what does CAB stand for that building?
City Annex Building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Annex, like additional. So in addition to City Hall.
Okay. Got it.
We had to think of something catchy, so.
Yeah. CAB building. Well, and then it kind of goes along with the fact that we just love acronyms in government, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, wonderful. Okay, thanks for explaining that. Chief of Staff McCain, do you have a legislative update for us?
Yes, real quick. So this is the bill that I spoke about a little bit last podcast. It's House Bill 26-1140. It is Representative Ty Winter's bill, who represents a sliver of Pueblo, tiny portion there. And it is the local government impact hearing. So the city officially takes a position of support on this. Both every member of council signed a letter along with the mayor. And as I went over last time, reading the modern, updated version of it, what this does is if there is legislation, up to 5 pieces of legislation, and they impact a local government, if this bill passes, it would require the leadership, both on the majority and minority side, pick up to 5 bills, and they have no more than 2 hours. So a hearing of up to 2 hours with the local governments that it impacts. And it's at the start of it. It will be in front of the committee, not the whole Congress or legislature, but in front of the committee that it's where you go to see the testimony and where you go up to testify. But what it does is it basically gives us as a local government to express our views, our support or opposition on this legislation. It designates the time at the beginning of the hearing so we don't have to sit up there until 1 a.m. and talk for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 5 minutes, but in the mayor's experience and the city staff experience, you sit up there for 8 hours and you get 3 minutes to speak. And you need a lot more time than 3 minutes to talk about these bills. So it is on second reading today. So hopefully with our support and some support of the other communities that they'll actually move this forward. There is some bipartisan support on it, which makes it hopeful. We didn't think it would get this far. I don't know why. This seems like common sense. So we back this, and hopefully it passes.
So is this the kind of thing that when we see legislation passed and we complain about like unfunded mandates,
Yes.
we could bring that forward and
Yes.
express that?
Yes. So unfunded mandates, burdensome regulations. So an example, there's some bills this session and last session that really impacts our ability to create local laws and enforce them.
Sure.
That's very particular to our community.
Mm-hmm.
And again, last year going up, we got 3 minutes to talk after.
I mean, it's embarrassing. You go, you spend all of this time. They're not even listening to you. They're taking selfies. They're eating their to-go steaks up on their dais, not even listening, and almost like mocking you when you're up there talking. It's like ridiculous. But that's what we get, 3 minutes, and then we might get some crude questions back to us.
Yep.
So this gives the solid time.
Yep, no less than 1 hour, no more than 2 hours.
Great.
Which you can say a lot in 2 hours, and
You could say a lot in an hour.
Yeah, and specifically for the local governments or an organization that represents local governments, which is going to be CML for municipalities and CCI for counties.
Okay. Great.
So we'll have an update next week on if it moves forward or if they kill it.
Okay. That sounds great.
That's all I got.
Okay. Anything else, Mayor, that you want to add? No? Okay. We do have a town hall later this week on Thursday at 6 o'clock at Station 4 with the fire department, talking about fire mitigation and being ready if there was a fire in your home, how to make a go bag, and sign up for emergency notifications. We will also have that live streamed on the Facebook page for the fire department. So join us if you are able. And I'd like to remind the listener, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch us on Channel 17. And if you have questions, email us at mayor@pueblo.us. And we'll see you next week.